Welcome, everybody. This is the No Politics Podcast. I'm your boy, Faking No Moves.
Was that my cue to come in?
Remember we decided on doing that kind of?
I don't know. We didn't pre-discuss it this time because last time we kept it original. But if I'm coming in right now, then you know it's your boy Working Genius.
Yes, sir. And we got a great show in store for you. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We got Monday Night Raw. We got Smackdown Live. Let's start with Raw, as usual. And we kicked Raw off with Roman Reigns coming to the ring. He had the Shark Tank in the ring, and he was quickly interrupted by Jericho and Owens, who was popping their shit, talking about being a sexy pinata again, a very sexy pinata. And he also told him that anytime he wanted, he could come down there and kick his ass. Jericho, that is, told Roman that and beat him again. And then we end up having Kevin Owens make the match and agree that Jericho should defend the belt against Roman Reigns later in the night.
A few things I want to mention with this. I didn't mind Reigns' promo. Short and sweet. I didn't mind it. The most interesting part, Jericho killed this, by the way. Jericho made me laugh on multiple occasions. But the interesting to me was that Owens volunteered Jericho to defend his title. And it was weird because now you got to think about, is this like Owens' jealousy coming into play? Like maybe he low-key wants him to have to defend his title and is getting him into that match because of that? Or did he just legitimately feel like, no, Jericho, you got this. Because nobody really wants to get in that ring with Reigns. So when you say like, yeah, no, he'll defend it. Come on, you can do it. It's like, does Owens have something up his sleeve, or
Yeah.
you know?
I think it was the latter. I think he had it up his sleeve because he was like, you're good, don't worry, you got this.
Exactly.
But he wasn't saying it in the mic. He was like telling him personally, you're
Yeah.
good. And I think he just had it all along, like, let's put him in a match. Let's wear his ass down. I got him Sunday anyway. You're not going to be able to help me wear him down. So let's fucking do this. Don't worry. I'm going to freaking interrupt. Which, not to jump too far ahead, but we all know what happened in that match. They also ended that whole segment by Owen saying, you're going to be in that cage by the end of the night.
Yeah, which
That
I
was
knew
cool.
I knew that was foreshadowing. That was obvious foreshadowing.
Yep, and it was cool. Like you said, also, I wasn't disappointed in Reigns' mic work. He actually did all right on the mic, that was like the first thing I was like, wait a minute, Roman looks comfortable, But not to dwell too much on that. But the next match was the next part of the show was a match between Luke Gallows and Cesaro, which wasn't bad. At first, the way they both came out as teams, I thought it was gonna be a tag match for the belts. I'm like, wait a minute, aren't they fighting at Rumble? Like they're gonna give them another opportunity? But it was a one-on-one match. Luke Gallows and Cesaro, nothing crazy. Another not too short, but somewhat of a short match. Some distractions. Carl Anderson came. I guess he was on commentary, and then or at some he wasn't ringside.
He was ringside at first.
Okay, because then he ran down the ramp
and then
and
I don't know if he got
this
kicked
guy
from ringside and then came back out.
Okay,
but I feel like he was at ringside to start the match, and then when I looked again, he wasn't there. I might have missed the part where he got kicked from ringside. I don't know. I'm not sure.
He definitely didn't get kicked from ringside, but I think he went more up the ramp towards the announcers.
I just know by the end he came running down the ramp
and distracted the ref and got Luke Gallows to win and the pin for 3. Gallows had a little cut under his eye. I don't know how he got that, but that was noticeable. But yeah, like I said, not too short of a match, but pretty quick match. After that was a backstage segment, which was actually one of the cool parts of the show with Mick Foley talking to Stephanie McMahon over speakerphone on one of those office phones, and Sami Zayn came in and was like, how do I go about announcing myself for the Rumble? And Stephanie kind of heard him, was like, wait a minute, is that Sami? listen, if you want to get in the Royal Rumble, you got to match against Seth Rollins and you got to beat him to earn your spot. And then she goes, take me off speaker. Sammy's like, I'm going to get ready. Foley goes on the phone. He goes, okay. I'll relay the message. We don't know what she said. And he hangs up. They go to commercial break, which I was watching it live, so I did see them go to a commercial break. They come back, and Foley approaches Seth Rollins backstage.
His name is Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins. I don't know why I kind of hesitated there, but he approaches Seth Rollins backstage and he informs him like, "Hey, you got a match against Sammy. It's for him to earn a spot in the Royal Rumble. But if you lose your spot in the Rumble." Which right there, I knew plot twist. Something's gonna go down tonight, and we get straight to it. Sami Zayn versus Seth Rollins. Another cool match. They got some time on this and they did some dope stuff. Like close calls. All in all, like not to skip through the match too quick, but I love how, Seth Rollins hit Sammy with the pedigree on the ring. The ring apron thing. Yeah, that was dope. Zayn had some spots where he had even a reversal on the pedigree where he threw Rollins out of the ring straight to the floor. That was cool. But all in all, we know how the match ended. And the King of Kings, Triple H, his music hit. And we all said, no way. We all been waiting for him. But what happens?
He didn't show up. Which I knew he wasn't going to show up. When I heard the music, I was like, nah, he's not going to be there. But a part of me wanted him to be there, but at the same time, they didn't need him there. And like you said, plot twist with Rollins having to put his spot on the line. Once that happened, I kind of knew, like, he's going to lose his spot. But at the same time, when you really think about it, nobody should really mind this because nobody really expected Rollins to win the Rumble. Everyone, it's pretty much writing on the wall at this point that it's Rollins versus Triple H at Mania.
Yeah.
Everyone knows it.
You're
so
right.
At this point, he's not gonna win the Rumble. The best thing would be seeing him interact with certain people in the Rumble, and he'd probably more than likely have a great showing in the Rumble. But ultimately, we knew he wasn't gonna win. So it doesn't really bother me that they decided, you know what, let's add more to this feud by just having Triple H or whoever cost him his opportunity to even compete in the Rumble. It's a plot twist. It made people go, damn, Rollins ain't in the Rumble. So I didn't mind this at all. I thought it was dope.
Yep, all in all, Sami Zayn rolls him up, gets the pin, and takes his spot in the Rumble. And like you said, all in all, nobody could really be mad at him not being in the Rumble. Like you said, I think you broke it down perfectly. I know I'm not mad at all, and I don't think I've seen anything out there with people complaining. But I tell you this, if this was a few years ago and this was Daniel Bryan in this position, there'd be riots. Like, people would be freaking tight.
They would.
You know what I mean?
See, the thing is, there kind of should be. The thing is, though, that this has been so obvious because they keep having Rollins. If Rollins had almost forgotten about the whole Triple H thing and kind of kept going on with his shit, then it would have bothered people when Triple H kind of returns out of nowhere. His music hits out of nowhere, and you're like, oh shit, they're still on with this, But everyone knows at this point. It was too much of Rollins bringing it up, which isn't bad. I know they want the continuity of it, but it was too much. Rollins' focus was all on Triple H to the point where we knew, okay, this is gonna keep coming up again, know, and so it wasn't a surprise, that he's cost his chance. Plus, no, they haven't even. Rollins had his Universal title opportunity, and we've kind of moved past that at this point. So it's not like, oh man, we want Rollins to win the Rumble so he gets another chance at the universe. It was like there was no focus on Rollins chasing the title anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it was just his focus was on Triple H, and because of that,
revenge.
It's just, nobody's really shot. It's been too obvious that is the one WrestleMania match everyone can say 100% is definitely on the card. And because of that, it didn't really. They did a good thing by pulling the trigger on a move like this, because some people might be like, "What the fuck? Rollins isn't in the Rumble," but ultimately, like it wasn't the most risky thing, and nobody will riot, like you said, because it's just whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't expect Rollins to
And
win.
right now, even with Rollins not being in the Rumble, it's pretty much full. There's only a few spots left for like special appearances. Somehow, some way though, you never know. What if Rollins still comes out? Like, you've seen in the past Curtis Axel get his spot taken. What if Rollins is like, fuck that, I'm in the Rumble. Like, they screwed me, I'm coming in. And he shows up somehow. Slim chance, but you never know. All in all though, backstage Seth Rollins starts going off on Mick Foley. Like, what the hell was that? Did you know that was going to happen? Foley's like, no. And he's like, so how did that happen? Stephanie has to be behind this. And he's like, maybe Stephanie called the guys in the truck. He's like, yeah, Stephanie called the guys in the truck. I'm going to get down to the bottom of this. And he storms off.
You know what I like about this? Stephanie wasn't in the building tonight.
Yeah.
This happens on a night where Stephanie's not in the building. So, like, Rollins can't go backstage and find her. Like, of course, the night that this happens is a night that Stephanie is not in the building. It's like kind of brilliant from the authority standpoint.
Yeah.
And like it's a small little, because when we first heard Stephanie's not in the building, Mick Foley's on the phone with her, we're just like, okay, Stephanie's not in the building. It didn't like tip us off to anything. At least for me anyway, it didn't tip me off to, whoa, Stephanie's not in the building, something's up. No,
Yeah,
it just kind of was like, oh, Stephanie's not in the building tonight, all right. But now it kind of makes sense that she wasn't in the building and this kind of shit happens. So I like that little detail as
They
well.
had something up their sleeve.
Exactly.
From there we go on to the next match, which was a cruiserweight match, and every week I just shit on the cruiserweight matches, but I liked this next match from the cruiserweights. It was Jack Gallagher, T.J. Perkins, and Mustafa Ali making his debut on main television, main TV for the main roster, and they faced Arya Davari, Tony Nese, and Drew Gulak. Now, I was actually really entertained, and I felt the crowd was really drawn into this 3-on-3. I don't know how you felt watching it, or if you paid much attention to it, but it was great seeing like 6 guys, 2 teams interacting with each other. I know they did it in the beginning a lot, and we got tired of it, but then they steered away from it, and now they bring it in again, and they also used it to put over Mustafa Ali, who he looked amazing, and that ending segment between them, the way like everyone was brawling and basically gave Ali the chance to get whoever he hit with his finisher in the corner and hit that reverse 450 splash. That shit was amazing. Ali's a guy who I was impressed with in the tournament, that I was like, yo, that guy got some moves. He does some shit I never seen before. He's gonna be a major player. I could see him, being a main dude in that division. And he got his opportunity on TV, and I think he really, really, really took advantage of it. And I think the people are gonna look out for him going forward.
I have a lot of things to say about this segment. I did not watch it. I did not that I didn't watch it. It was on. I wasn't heavily into it. But I know Mustafa Ali from the Cruiserweight Classic, as you said, and I loved him in the Cruiserweight Classic. And I believe he was eliminated first round in the Cruiserweight Classic. And I remember feeling like, oh shit, man, this dude was dope. I'm pretty sure you seem to think he wasn't eliminated first round. At best he was a second round elimination. Yeah. But when I saw him, I was like, man, this kid is dope. Like I like this kid. And when I was this his main television debut, really?
Yeah, because they even showed a package for him, like
exactly
getting to know him.
See, I wasn't sure because I felt like I had seen him before, and I felt like the package might have, and it could have been just that I saw him on 205 and I got confused. But when they showed the package, to me it was that they were like kind of repackaging him, because I always felt like Mustafa Ali was a heel. So I feel like they were doing this to repackage him as he has a story and he's a good guy. And that's why they teamed him with who they teamed with? Perkins and
Gallagher.
Okay, exactly, with 2 faces.
Yeah.
So the repackaging, to me, I didn't know was because it was his debut. I just saw it and was like, oh, so they must be trying to package him as a face.
Yeah, I mean, I don't recall seeing him on television, but I would understand your logic behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I do like that. Was he the only one that got a video package right before the
Yeah,
match?
he was the only one.
Okay, so he was the highlight of. Okay, so which would explain him getting the pin and all of that. I liked the packaging. I liked them whether it was a repackaging or not. I liked them giving us a story because remember when we watched the Cruiserweight Classic, we were invested in these matches based on little to no information about these wrestlers.
Yeah,
The only information we really got was the video packages they gave us right before their matches. And
yeah,
that was almost enough to get us at least slightly invested. And then what they did in the ring made us even more invested. So I like the idea of showing some video packages, letting us know who these damn guys are instead of just throwing them into the ring sometimes. So I don't know if this is going to be a thing that they do more often where they introduce certain guys via video package, but to me, something like that works because it lets the crowd know who might not be familiar with these guys, a little something about them, and then a reason to get behind their character because we know something about their character.
yeah, man. It was a dope match. I mean, I liked it, and I usually don't really like cruiserweight matches on Raw, at least. But after that, we had the New Day. I don't know if this was the second half, the second hour of WWE, which that means we're kind of getting through it pretty quick. But New Day comes out and they're popping their shit and they say, as you guys know, we announced our selves in the Royal Rumble and we want to be the WWE Universal Champions. If one of us wins, we all win. And they get interrupted by Enzo and Cass. And Enzo and Cass announced themselves to be in the Royal Rumble as well. And I think we mentioned this last week where I was like, we don't know if they're in, but I would assume they're gonna be in and Rusev will be in. And then Rusev and Jinder Mahal interrupt them and announce themselves to be in the Royal Rumble as well. They're having a nice little back and forth between each other. And Rusev is saying, like, why do you call yourself Big Cass? We know you're big. That's like me putting handsome in front of my name. Handsome Rusev. That was hilarious. Like, I give Rusev props. He was handling himself. And then even when they were all in the ring and everyone was like chanting Lana and what's his name? Xavier was like, "You hot? I give you that, but calm
You
down. This is
fine?
like for us. You fine, girl." And how about Xavier Woods always referencing some social media, so saying "Cash me outside." How about that to Titus O'Neil? Because Titus O'Neil, as if we forgot to mention, he ended up interrupting again. Everybody was upset, and even New Day was like, "You promised you wouldn't interrupt us no more. What's going on?" Like, and he's like, "I'm just trying to get a spot in the Rumble, and I think we're gonna have ourselves a little 4-on-4 match here, y'all versus us." And it was 5-3, and then they go, "What do you mean?" And then Braun Strowman's music hits. Strowman comes out, and he's part of the match. For them to throw Strowman in this was kind of weird for me. Like, I didn't really like it at all. And I'm like, damn, you go from having a bunch of weeks with him feuding with top guys like Zayn, Rollins, and Roman and aligning himself kind of with Owens and Jericho to throwing him in this match with, Titus and Rusev as his partners. How'd you feel about that?
I got a bunch of things again to say about this segment, good and bad. The good. Well, I got really excited, to be honest, at the start of this segment when the New Day was interrupted by Enzo and Cass. I was like, oh man, might we see a feud between Enzo and Cass and New Day? Finally, something fresh,
I
something
felt the same
different,
way.
right? I got excited. And then, of course, Rusev comes out, who, like you said, though, handled himself on the mic. That handsome Rusev shit did not get the credit it deserved from the crowd. That shit had me dying. And so they come out, and I'm like, okay, so pretty much now Titus is just gonna come out because I thought they were finally gonna give us a fresh thing, but instead they give us the same thing. They just combined the two. They give us the same Rusev Cass Enzo feud and then combine it with the New Day Titus shit. And gotta mention the Cash Me Outside. How about that segment? Part of it was dope. I mean, they acted out pretty much the whole thing, where the original clip on Dr. Phil, where the mom is like, where Dr. Phil questions it, and the mom is like, she means, go outside and she'll do what she has to do. Like they ran through a few of those on. It wasn't just the Cash Me Outside.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It was like
exactly
they broke down the entire segment, and that had me dying. And then the 5-on-3 part, like you said, she fine, but the 5-on-3 part where she was Lana got a huge pop for that, and then like you said, Braun comes out, and it was like Braun is back with this. It was like you could tell again, since Braun was in limbo tonight, because Owens and Jericho would be involved with Reigns, and Rollins was involved with Zayn, so Braun was the odd man out of that main six, and so they threw him in with this to even the numbers.
And the highlight of that whole match was then, though, which I didn't even, it didn't cross my mind it could happen.
I think you're going to say it to me. I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page, I think. I was going to mention it. Go ahead. Go for it.
Enzo
and Braun. Yep.
Okay, so continue.
And I knew it was going to happen because just and Enzo has been cornered by someone huge in the past, and whenever he's like, he stares at them for a second and then gasses himself up, and the crowd gets behind him, and he does his little dance, and then he gets bullied. So in my mind, I pictured that this would be the ending, and I loved when it happened because that shit just is entertaining to me. So I at least appreciated that part of it, and the finish was Braun getting the pin, of course, and
on Enzo.
It was cool to me. It was a cool little segment to me.
And let's not forget, Big Show comes out after that.
Oh yeah, he's my pick to win the Rumble.
He's in the Rumble as well. And I was gonna say that before Monday Night Raw came on, I got the notification from the app that Big Show announced is gonna be in the Rumble. I'm like, so
when I got that shit, I rolled my eyes. I was like, oh my god! I
swear to God, me too. I think everyone around the world got the same reaction. Like, okay, that has to be like
this is huge news.
Notification news, breaking news. But I was digging Big Show's little outfit, his ring gear right there. It was like American flag type, repping for USA, and seeing him, which he has lost a lot of weight and he's getting in real good shape for Mania to go up against Shaq. Seeing him against Strowman kind of backed down a little, and he's taller and big. I know he's big, but Strowman just looks like he's on his level as in bigness. But Big Show's still way taller than Strowman. And Strowman backs down, is like, but still not in a punk way. And he's like, if you saw when he's walking, he's like, I do what I want, when I want, how I want. And he walked off.
Nah, that was a punk way, bro. I'm gonna disagree there. It was still, I didn't like it because last week I mentioned he backed down from Lesnar. Yeah. And now this week you back down from from the Big Show, my guy, come on.
Yeah, but for me, him saying I do what I want, when I want, how I want, I don't think WWE put it in the script for him to say that. I think they literally just wanted him to back down again and make him look like a punk. And I think he
kind of saved it.
He improv'd and still was like, I do what I want. And you know what I'm saying, to Showface. And I give him props for that because he's still new in wrestling. It's not like he freaking wrestled all his life. You know what I mean?
If he improvised that, I give him that credit. But to me, it was just, that's what usually title holders do. Heel title holders do that. They leave the ring, they'll be like, all right, you want a title shot? And then they leave the ring. I believe Alexa Bliss just did it this past week on Smackdown. So heel title holders always do that, where they leave the ring. They're like, no, it's on my time. That's what they always say. So to me, it was like, you're not hiding the fact that you were kind of scripted like a coward in this moment, which I don't like in back-to-back weeks against someone like the Big Show. And speaking of the Big Show versus Shaq at Mania, I'd be more interested if they just had a dunk contest at Mania like Shaq versus Big Show dunk contest rather than a match. But whatever with that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say about that. I
Yeah.
just don't like Braun backing down again back to back weeks after his character is built to be like I don't give a fuck about anything. Like
Yeah.
I'm that guy. I'm not backing down from shit. Like, but now
I'm
I
still
didn't
though.
like
It
that.
still kind of excites me for the Rumble. Like now you think about it, I'm pretty sure Kane will probably be a surprise
You think Shaq will
entrant
be
for
in
the
the Rumble?
Rumble. Nah. But just think: Big Show, Strowman, Kane, Taker, Lesnar, and Goldberg, all in the same ring with Roman Reigns. Oh wait, no, Roman Reigns not gonna be in the Rumble. Whoops,
That's
scratch that.
a lot of meat. Pause.
But those big
It's a
ass
lot of pounds
motherfuckers,
of
you know what I
meat.
mean?
Yeah, that's a lot of pounds of meat in there. Pause. But no, I mean, yeah, those names excite. I mean, not Big Show really, but Big Show's like classic to the Rumble, I guess.
Exactly.
And Kane, I don't know if like I'm sure Kane will be in it. I don't know if that's a surprise. Like I just kind of assumed Kane would be in it.
I mean,
Maybe he's
when
not
was the last
confirmed
time
though.
we saw him against Luke Harper and then on Roadblock, and we haven't seen him since then.
Yeah, but Kane is Kane. Kane.
Yeah,
Well, when you think about it, Kane and Big Show are kind of just classic to the Rumble. So it's like
exactly. So just to see them like the classic big men, and then
plus it plays into the whole new era versus the old era kind of thing. Still,
yeah,
the new era guys are always coming in. I mean, it's a young man's game kind of right now, and
yeah,
like Cena always mentions it, like the new era, like nah, like it's still us. We still here. So
yeah,
it's interesting that we'll get to see like the old era. It could be like a passing of the torch kind of thing, where like these new guys eliminate the old guys, or maybe they give the old guys
Corbin.
one last classic. Corbin, I didn't even mention it, but Corbin, when you were naming your guys, you didn't mention Corbin, and Corbin I think is gonna have a good Rumble showing, like a really solid
Yeah, me
Rumble
too.
showing.
So just imagine all those big dudes. That's gonna be fire. It just excites me. I can't wait for the Rumble. This is the most intriguing Rumble in a long time.
You
But let's
you
move on
you
to
can't
the
just
next.
say a lot of big dudes in a Rumble. This really excites me. You can't say that back to back, bro. You can't. You can't. No.
Pause. That was pause worthy.
Throw the pause in there, yeah.
Right. Um. But let's move on to the next match, which was damn near basically the main event of the night. So after this, there's not really much to talk about. So I figure we're gonna run through this ending pretty quick. But
Let's do it.
Chris Jericho defended his U.S. title against Roman Reigns, and what can I say about this match? It was actually pretty dope, back and forth. Uh, Close calls. Right when it looked like Roman was gonna get the win, Kevin Owens, who was on commentary, runs to the ring, interrupts, and they start beating down on Roman Reigns.
That's what happened.
And the whole match, the Shark Tank was above the ring, and basically during the beat down, Owens waves it down, and it comes back, and it comes into the middle of the ring.
Oh, I have to mention them them just slamming the gate, like Owen slamming the gate, and then Jericho trying to slam it after. That was comedic to me. That was entertaining to me. But then,
Yeah.
of course, they're trying to put Reigns in it, and of course, it doesn't happen. And
We knew it was gonna backfire.
who ends up in there?
Owens.
Yeah,
Owens ends up in there because they have Reigns in there, and as he's trying to lock it, Reigns like pulls him and bangs his head against the thing,
yeah.
and then Jericho goes to lock it up, and he pulls Jericho, bangs his head. They're like the freaking
It's
two
almost like
stooges over
two
here.
stooges, two idiots. Exactly what I was
Yeah,
gonna
you know what
say.
I'm saying? And Reigns reverses it on them and throws Owens in there and locks it up mad quick and like bring it up. And I love this part because as it's going up, Jericho's hanging off it like, no. And Roman just hits him with a Superman punch. I thought that was
That was
real
awesome.
ill. That
That
was
was
ill.
awesome. Yeah, that was
Yep.
fucking tight, bro. Like Like, first of all, like you mentioned, Jericho hanging from that shit had me dying. Like, I knew he was gonna do it too, and it was just like, even knowing it did not make it any less funny. And then that Superman punch, that was a dope little way to end that shit. So
Yeah, and it
I
wasn't
definitely
like
fucked with
Jericho
that.
was still pretty close to the ground. He was getting up
Yeah,
there.
no,
It
he
was
was
to
high.
the
He
point I
was
was like,
pretty
how
high.
high are they gonna let him go? And then he just
Yeah,
hit him. He jumped high for that Superman.
yeah,
I
he was
guess he
pretty
wanted
high.
to give it that extra, spunk, which it definitely worked.
I like you using the word spunk. That's what I'm gonna say to that. So,
Word.
but it was dope, like you said.
Yeah, man. And all in all, that's how that segment ends. They go to commercial, and then when they come back, Jericho is out of the thing. Owens helped him get out, and then they have an interviewer come. I mean, Owens is out of the cage. Jericho helped him out, and the interviewer comes to talk to Jericho, and basically Jericho's like, I mean, to talk to Owens, and the whole time she's trying to talk to Owens, Jericho is screaming his head off at her, like, "You think that's funny? You think that's funny? Like, like not even letting Owens talk." And all in all, I don't remember anything Owens said. I just remember Jericho just screaming, and yeah.
I remember Owen saying, I don't remember too much of what Owen said.
Oh, but
I
not
remember
to
him
cut you
saying it
off.
was unsafe work conditions.
That he said definitely, and then the girl announced that not only is it they're gonna have the Shark Tank, but it's a no disqualification match at Royal Rumble.
That's what he was so heated
Yeah, and
over.
he was tight about that.
Yep. I mean, no disqualification just gives even more. It gives more fuel to the idea that Jericho can drop something in that Owens can use. But ultimately, I still don't see Owens uh, winning. Maybe Owens finds a way to bring down the Shark Tank. Who knows? Like,
Yeah,
maybe they find a way to break out. I don't know.
somehow I don't know. Something's gonna happen, but we already like on our previous episode predicted the winner of that, and I think we both predicted Roman Reigns to win just
Yeah,
because like we just know that's the direction they're going for WrestleMania. But what are the chances now that it's a no disqualification match that Owens walks out with his belt?
I think I don't know. It's so tricky because you can look at it both ways. Where no disqualification means Jericho could find a way to help cheat, and they could find a way to retain. But then you think no disqualification, and it's like there's no way Owens can just purposely, disqualify himself to keep the belt.
Something that comes into my head, which would be a little swerve, they fucked Rollins out of being in the Royal Rumble. He has nothing planned for Royal Rumble now. No match, no nothing. No disqualification. Cost Owen the belt.
That would
KO the
be.
belt. The same way Triple H cost him the belt. Now he costs KO the belt, and he calls out Triple H again. You try to play your music last week. You know what I'm saying? Where are you?
I got to give you big props for that one. I love that idea. Because who was the main beneficiary of Rollins getting screwed? It was Owens. When Triple H, Owens is Triple H's guy. So what better way if he can't find Triple H and Triple H ain't gonna show up, but he's gonna do some shit like play his music or whoever was behind that, whether it was Stephanie, whoever. But you're gonna cost me my shot at the title. This is your guy. Kevin Owens is your guy. I'm gonna take him out.
Yeah.
I love that idea. I love that idea.
Big possibility. Big possibility.
And you heard it here first at No Politics Podcast.
Yep. Moving on. We have a little video footage with Michael Cole recapping what happened with Nia Jackson, Sasha Banks. I almost called her Sasha Bailey.
Barely. Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh man. But Sasha Banks, when she was trying to train to get back into the ring, and then Nia Jax kind of attacked her, and then
Fuck your trainer. That's what she
yeah,
said.
the whole training shit. I was
Yep.
kind of, I don't know, maybe I just wasn't paying too much attention, but I don't know why they played that. And then basically Nia Jax just had like a regular squash match. I think they talked to Nia Jax as well, or was that after the match where she was popping her shit? But then, all in all, Nia Jax gets a squash match. She destroys some little girl, and Sasha comes out, her music plays. She comes to the ring and starts beating down Nia with her crutch, and it ends with basically Sasha, kicking Nia out of the ring, off the apron, and Sasha's in the ring looking like she's on top, and Nia retreats.
I mean, I would assume they just played it just to kind of refresh our mind on the fact that they have a feud going.
And they also announced their match for Royal Rumble pre-show kickoff.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that. But I mean, so might as well.
That was one of the matches added. Also, oh wait, did we talk last week about the Club versus Sheamus and Cesaro on the pre-show, or was that just announced?
I don't think we talked about it on the pre-show. No.
Yeah, so that's all gonna be on the pre-show as well. But moving along, next was another cruiserweight match between Rich Swann and Noam Dar, who is now with Alicia Fox.
Yeah, he hitting that.
Yeah, he's hitting that. And she walked out with 2 bouquets of flowers, like, in her outfit. It's like sewed into her outfit on her shoulders. And the commentators were putting that outfit over. But my personal opinion, that shit looks stupid as fuck. Not to be too harsh.
I don't even remember it. I mean, if they were putting it over, are you sure it wasn't like in a joking kind of?
It was in a joking way, like
they were probably, like just trying to point it out.
Beautiful bouquets of flowers on her shoulder, and then like Corey Graves was like, yeah, because Noam Dar is such a gentleman, he gave them to her. She appreciates them so much. You know what I mean? Like just being heels, but all in all, Rich Swann defeats Noam Dar due to somehow Alicia Fox like fucking interrupted.
She's bad luck.
It was stupid, but I love how Rich Swann's using that like spinning back kick to finish people off. That shit's nasty. But it was a short match. He gets the win, and then he calls out Neville. It says, Neville, you proclaim yourself to be a king. Come out here. Catch me outside. How about that? And Neville comes out, and they kind of go face to face, and then Neville backs down, and it was stupid. But they're gonna face each other at the Royal Rumble. We spoke on that match for sure, and then we go backstage. I don't know. I'm just moving along because
we got too much to talk about.
Yeah, so then we go backstage, and they interview Cedric Alexander and ask him how does he feel about Alicia Fox, and he says, you know what, not having her now allows me to focus on getting myself an opportunity at the title and having people focus on me, not my relationship. So basically like a fresh start, but he gets interrupted by Noam and Alicia, and Alicia's like popping shit that he ain't shit. And then basically he smacks or punches or something.
And he pushes.
He pushes him and like drops him, and Alicia's like, you almost made him cry. Okay, whatever. Moving on. Moving on. Wow, we went through this quick.
Good.
Moving on, this is the end. This was the final like 10 to 12 minutes of the show, and it's Goldberg backstage. His music plays. He comes out. He's looking mean. And let's talk about how freaking badass he looked with his cut on his head, which they mentioned is from him banging his head against the door to pump himself up before Yeah, you didn't hear Corey Graves? They were like, they were like, look at Goldberg bleeding. Every time before he walks out to the ring, he bangs his head on the door to pump himself up, they said.
What an idiot, huh?
And he came out bleeding.
What a stupid idiot.
I don't know. He looked badass to me.
I thought... I didn't know what to do. I didn't know why the hell he was bleeding.
But I don't think he even knew he was bleeding until when
he didn't at first.
He touched his head and kind of smudged it on himself.
Yeah.
And then he kind of kept touching back to it, like to make sure it looks like clean it up a little.
Yeah.
But all in all, he got tripped up on his words like twice trying to like start speaking.
I thought he rebounded nicely.
But he rebounded very nicely. It's not like it was like okay, let's start it again.
It's so much better.
Started because he was overwhelmed. It seemed, by the response.
I think it's so much better when they kind of acknowledge it.
Yeah.
When they don't just kind of try to run past it like it never happened. I don't mind it as much when they acknowledge it. Like yeah, I'm a fucking human, and sometimes I trip on my words. Even doing this podcast, sometimes, we experience those moments where we just trip up on our fucking words. It's
Yeah.
normal. So, even though they're supposed to be actors, quote unquote, or entertainers, and go by the script, sometimes I understand it, and I like when they acknowledge it. I'm fine with it once they do that. But continue on the segment.
Yeah, he says he wants to gain the universal title, and he's gonna do everything possible to get it. And during that whole spiel, Paul Heyman interrupts him and starts talking shit and like, hey, you can see him versus the Undertaker, and the crowd goes crazy. They're like, you can see him against Randy Orton, you can see him against this, but ultimately you can also see him against the Goldberg flesh eating, beast incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar's music hits, and everybody's like, oh shit, he's in the building? And he comes out, the crowd goes crazy, and Heyman goes to say something and basically say his name again, and he goes, we know, he cuts him off, Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar, Brock Lesnar. You gonna stand there and talk, run your mouth, or you gonna look like a dumbass? And even the commentators weren't expecting that. Like, Cody was like, dumbass? Like, is he even allowed to say that? And then Brock Lesnar like fuck that, starts walking down to the ring. Paul Heyman was like, no, but Lesnar comes in, they face off, and right when they start walking towards each other, the gong hits, the big swerve, the good kind of swerve that we like, that we talked about last year, how they do swerves we don't like. This was the kind of swerve we liked. Undertaker was in the fucking building. The lights cut on, and who's standing in the ring with Goldberg and Brock Lesnar? Fucking Undertaker.
It was definitely dope. You really like that, huh? It was
Hell yeah.
definitely dope. Um, I'm not. I love seeing them all in the ring. I hated just it ending. Like, I kind of wonder what the hell happened after. How
Yeah.
they diffused that situation. But shout out to Brock Lesnar's shirt though. I don't know if you noticed that Suplex City. The C in the suplex in the city was the Cavs C. That shit was fire,
Yeah.
bro. I had
I
to point
like
that
that.
out.
I noticed it, and I was like, okay, it has the C like the Cavs. But it's still kind of getting played out. They need something new for him. He's been doing the same fucking shirts for like 2 years now. Come on, guys.
I mean, he don't pop up often, so like it's not like his gimmick has changed. It's when he's there
Yeah.
every 5 times a year. It's like, okay, yeah, it's Suplex City again. Like,
Yeah. But I mean, come on. We need something new. Come
I don't
on,
know.
son.
I
Come on.
definitely fucked with the little twist though with the Cavs seat though.
Yeah. I'm not gonna go hard on it. But
I
I
mean,
love the fact that they ended it like no words being said, just to stare down. The lights turn purple, and then we go off television.
I mean, personally, I don't mind it. I'm just saying, like, I wish I was in the building to kind of see what the fuck happened next.
I
Because they
kind of
probably
see.
didn't hit each other, right? Like,
No, I seen a video. Brock Lesnar just gets out the ring, and then so does Goldberg on the other end, and Taker's just left standing there.
kind of awkward.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it was a decent way. I love seeing them three in the ring. Was kind of disappointed that nothing happened, but then again, I get it. Like, okay, save it for the Rumble.
Yeah, man. So with that, Raw ends, and the two matches we got added was Cesaro and Sheamus against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson on the pre-show, Nia Jax and Sasha Banks versus Sasha Banks on the pre-show as well. All in all, it was a good episode of Raw. We're gonna jump into some SmackDown after this break. We'll be right back.
I didn't choose, yeah. Bitches on shows, yeah. I didn't choose, yeah. The bitches I chose, yeah. You been distant, I've been gone. I've been drifting, you been rogue. Dipped in Visvim, you belong. Center stage or centerfold. Strike a pose when you in that Vogue. We treat Brooklyn like it's wrong. You got game, I got game. Now ball and chain like the bitch in my own. Bitch, I'm shit vicious, I'm a sex pistol. Grabbing the gap or get your mind blown. Baby, just know, I got the force. Penelope, I'm Johnny Depp with the blow. Using your nose to measure the blow. Using your tongue to write all your wrongs. Write out the lyrics to all of my songs. Back in my mode, bottle Patron. We hit the killer, yeah, she a killer. I don't believe that you swallow the worm. I don't believe that you swallow your pride. It's hidden inside, behind all the curves. Haters get curved, bitches get curved. No love for them bitches, I give you my word. Haters get served, bitches get served. No love for them bitches, I give you my word. I didn't choose, I was chose. Yeah, I didn't choose. Yeah, nigga on chose. Yeah, I didn't choose. Yeah, bitches on chose. Yeah, I didn't choose. Yeah, bitches I chose. Yeah.
And we're back. We got a lot of SmackDown to talk about. They only added one match from SmackDown this week to the Rumble. So the Rumble's not going to be that long. But, you know, I'm just kind of, not to jump too far ahead, but the tag titles for SmackDown won't be on the line at all come Rumble, which is kind of disappointing. Like, they could have something for American Alpha. But we still got Elimination Chamber before Mania, and then we got Mania. So let's just jump into it, and let's talk about SmackDown. Mr. SmackDown, are you ready?
I'm always ready. Come on.
I know you are.
Don't disrespect me.
Let's get it. Okay, so SmackDown starts off, and we have Daniel Bryan backstage about to eat an apple when he gets interrupted. Or was he eating the apple?
He's about to eat the apple real good.
Yeah, pause on that. But Miz interrupts him, and Miz starts complaining to Daniel Bryan, and he says, you know, what are you gonna do about them not having a private dressing room for me and my wife, the first lady of the women's division, and all that on the roster. And he was like, you know, I even tried to kick those second-rate guys out of the locker room, and they all looked at me and laughed. Like, what are you going to do? And Daniel goes, you know what? Why don't... He goes, I can set up a bathroom stall for you. And then he starts laughing. And then Miz and Marie start breaking out laughing. I thought that was hilarious, that whole fake laugh segment. And he goes, no, really. And he goes, how about I give you a shot at the Intercontinental belt, a rematch? He goes, yeah. It's like, I'll take that. Because I want to have that belt and win the Rumble and get the Universal belt. Let's make it a no disqualification. He goes, well, how about this? I'm not going to make it a no disqualification, but all those beat second-rate guys you said that you're responsible for their career, why don't we have them out at the ring and have this a lumberjack match? That's what it's going to be. And SmackDown pops off like that.
I mean, I love that SmackDown is utilizing all of these tools. Like, Raw, to me, they'll have a bunch of rematches and just have them the same old singles matches. Like, okay, another singles match. Okay, maybe a tag team match. Okay, a singles match. Whereas SmackDown, like, when they realize they're just having rematches, they'll add something. The steel cage with Alexa Bliss and Becky. You know, the lumberjack match with Miz and Dean Ambrose. Like, they add at least a little twist to it, and it makes it a little more intriguing. So I definitely like that idea, especially since, like you said, Miz was trying to play all those second-rate wrestlers in the back. So
yeah,
it was good that now it's like, all right, so we'll put them around the ring.
Yep, and then after the intro package, we're introduced by our commentated Terry team. They start talking about Luke Harper, Randy Orton and the Wyatt family, and what happened last week. They actually recap back to a month ago when Randy Orton joined the Wyatt family, which was a dope little thing that we've been mentioning with SmackDown. They don't just throw shit together. They'll remind you why they're throwing it together and what created this whole situation. And the first match we're blessed with is Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. And I thought, what a fucking way to kick off the show. That's big.
Yeah, I like you said, I enjoy that SmackDown constantly lets you know, like, we're telling a story here. So in case you missed it, this is what's been building up. You know what I'm saying? And they keep us reminded. Great way to kick off the show, because this is what they've been. This is the match they've been like promoting the most of everything on this episode. You know, prior to it, and instead of just saving it for the main event, they tell us what the main event is going to be to start, and then give us what we've been anticipating, which is Orton versus Harper. I love that they came out together.
Yeah.
I was watching it with a friend, and he was like, when he was like, I wonder if they're gonna come out together. I was like, I think they should, because the point is that they're still a family, and this is just family business. You know what I mean? So I love that they just came out together. Like, you know, this is something we gotta do, and I thought it was a dope match.
Yeah, it really was.
The ending was interesting.
Yeah. Before we get to the ending, there was nice spots between each other. And, like, also, I noticed when, like, Luke Harper got thrown out the ring, he kind of, like, got up and was, like, looking at Bray Wyatt, like, to get his attention, like, are you paying attention? And Bray Wyatt was just sitting there, like, staring straight. And then the commentators mentioned, like, Bray Wyatt's just stoically sitting there, not even paying attention to either guy as they pass him, just waiting for the result, watching what's going on in the ring, not even what's around him when they came out, which was really dope.
And there was a cool part earlier in the match where they're both outside the ring, and Bray goes, grabs them, and puts them both back in the ring.
And puts them back in the ring. I think that was after. Okay. I think that was after they mentioned that he was stoically just sitting there. Because then that was on the other side of the ring.
Yeah, that was on the other side.
By the commentators. Because it was about to be like a count out, and he put them both back in the ring. Like,
exactly.
Like,
we're going to finish this.
There's going to be a result to this.
Exactly.
And all in all, they have a nice little sequence at the end, and some miss falls, like basically teasing a fall. But then this guy goes for his clothesline. Randy ducks, hits him with the RKO, and pins him 1, 2, 3, and it's over. Randy Orton wins. And how does it end from there? What happens next? What did Bray Wyatt do because of the results of this match?
Well, Bray Wyatt, being a great leader and the patriarch of the Wyatt family, comes in, helps Harper up like a good patriarch would, gives him a hug, smiles, shows him some love, and then
drops down,
gives him that kiss on that forehead.
Sister Abigail, baby. That's all she wrote.
What do you think this means?
I have no fucking clue. But something did cross my mind when I saw it, and I watched that match twice.
Okay.
And it crossed my mind again at the second time, like, this could be Randy Orton's plan all along. To infiltrate, make Harper feel uncomfortable, and try to open Bray Wyatt's eyes to, like, this guy's still an outsider. We're family. But make Harper look like the snake. And finally, when he gets Harper and gets Bray to kick him out of the family, because it looked like he got kicked out of the family, this is my chance to get him all alone. He has nobody on his side. You know what I mean?
That's exactly the way I saw it. To me, it was like, it was Randy Orton. It was Randy Orton's plan all along, and he made Bray feel like, I don't need Harper anymore. Harper's the weak link. Now that I got Orton, Harper's the weak link in the Wyatt family. He's the one costing us. And which, to be honest, Harper kind of was costing them in those tag title matches. And then just Orton beating him is like the final nail in the coffin. Like, look, he doesn't belong with us. And he's gotten, from what it looks like, he's gotten Bray to buy into this. And I said weeks ago that I would hope that Bray, you know, if Bray is supposed to be a mastermind and like the ultimate manipulator, I would hope that Bray should be aware of the fact that Orton is a snake, and Orton would be the type to try to do something like this. But it just looks like Bray is falling into this, you know, almost like Bray is being fooled. Bray, to me, if Bray wants to be like seen as that master manipulator, and he controls people to the point where like Harper and like Rowan and like Braun, he can tame these people and show them the way, and be their leader, and they're okay with it. If he's supposed to be that kind of master, manipulator, then to me it's like you gotta see this coming. Like you had to have seen that Orton is gonna try to split you off from Harper. How could you really be buying into this? So I'm in some way I'm hoping that Bray isn't this stupid, or they're not making Bray's character this stupid, that he's about to be fooled by Orton. But as far as for Orton, I feel like this is all a part of Orton's plan. I'm just kind of disappointed that Bray seems to be falling straight into it.
Yeah. I mean, but somebody's got to fall into something in order for them to make it a feud. So
I mean,
I understand.
I would hope that Bray makes Randy Orton feel like it's working, but Bray still knows deep down. And maybe Harper comes up in Mania, or Harper still has his back, and Bray and Harper. Exactly, and Bray and Harper are the ones that still know, like, we're still family.
But there's still one more guy that can.
Rowan.
Rowan, exactly. Where's he been?
He's been hurt. That's where he's been. He's been
hurt, right?
Yeah, no.
But still.
But I mean, I feel like, maybe who knows if he could be back by Mania or whenever. So
yeah,
I would just hope that Bray isn't just falling into this, and there's a little more going on, behind the scenes. But
and that was only just the first freaking match, and look how much we got to talk about that. That was like probably the main storyline of the night. These next couple segments we're gonna kind of run through quick until we get to some main parts, especially that main event match. But the next segment moving on was Renee Young in the ring, and she called Mickie James to the ring. And it was Mickie James' return. I almost forgot that was even Mickie James' song, that little song that's like the clap. Yeah. So she comes out, and I don't know if you noticed when she was on the apron going in between the ropes, she almost tripped.
Did not notice. I was mesmerized. I was probably looking somewhere else.
Yeah, but she almost tripped, but she was good. Renee asked her, like, why would you get involved and be La Luchadora? And she was like, because Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and all these girls think that they issued in a Divas Revolution, but I'm the original Divas Revolution. I'm a 5-time women's champion, a former Divas champion, and let's not forget my first belt. I won it at WrestleMania, defeating Trish Stratus, the Hall of Famer.
You know what I got from this? I think maybe two things from it. First of all, it was interesting for her to like call out the new era Divas Revolution, women's revolution kind of girls, and not say, Alexa Bliss is fairly new herself. I mean, she wasn't necessarily a part of the women's revolution, but it was interesting that Alexa Bliss is the one that she says, isn't like that. And I mean, I guess in a way, maybe it's that she said something like Alexa Bliss like shows respect or something.
Yeah, and acknowledged her accomplishments, and
exactly
is not like those other girls.
Exactly. The other thing, but that plays into a whole new era, old era thing we mentioned earlier. Like this kind of battle between the old era, the new era people come in and they just kind of think, it's all about them now, and these old era people are kind of getting sick of it.
Yeah.
And, I like that. The second thing I took from it is when she mentioned her beating Trish Stratus for the title and coming in, the first thing I thought of is the way she got that title shot back in the day was she came straight in and befriended Trish Stratus. She came straight in and befriended the champion. The quickest way to a title shot seems to be to befriend the champion. And what did Mickie James just do? She came in and befriended the champion, Alexa Bliss. That was interesting to me. She doesn't mention it. Obviously she's not going to come out and be like, yeah, look, I befriend. But her mentioning the whole Trish Stratus thing put that in my mind. Like, wow, she kind of did the same thing here, where she comes in and befriends Trish and befriends the champion, Alexa Bliss. So I don't know if maybe that's somewhere in the background.
That I actually, didn't think about that. You bring a good point up. I automatically assume like, hey, moving forward beyond Royal Rumble, Alexa Bliss is probably going to be tied up and give somebody else an opportunity, maybe a Nikki Bella, maybe a Natalia. And they might need something for Becky Lynch. And this gives Becky Lynch someone fresh to feud with. But your logic makes a lot even more sense, because hey, she took care of Becky Lynch. She got Becky Lynch out the picture. Now she's gonna turn her back on Alexa Bliss and get her shot at the title again. You know what I mean? And really show the new era, like, hey, I was the original revolution of this Divas division, women's division, whatever you want to call it. And Becky could continue to go and feud with Carmella or freaking Natty or Nikki. But hey, I like what they're doing with the Divas on SmackDown for sure.
I think it's more a long-term play. I think if Mickey and Alexa feud, it'll be a little further down the line. Probably, I don't think it would be Mania, It would probably be post-Mania to me, unless they want to do it for Elimination Chamber. But I think that's too soon. I think it's going to play out a little bit, and Mickey is going to have Alexa's back for a little bit. And in the meantime, Mickey will feud with Becky. Alexa looks like she's on the way to feuding with someone else. We're probably going to get into it as the show goes on, but I'm interested in seeing where the Mickey Alexa Bliss thing goes.
Yep. So moving on, we have Carmella and James Ellsworth
shopping,
and she's like, "We're gonna hook you up," and they do a whole bunch of different little things, a whole bunch of different outfits. I said things, but I meant outfits. They do different outfits, and he looks funny. For some reason, I feel like we're skipping the whole, like something backstage. Did they show them backstage first before they went out to go shopping?
No,
like
this
talking?
This was supposed to happen last week.
Oh, okay.
And maybe they ran out of time and they pushed it to this week or something. But this was mentioned 2 weeks ago that she was going to go shopping with him. And so they just kind of jumped right into the, I'm going to help you go shopping. So they jumped right into the segment where they're out shopping or whatever the fuck.
Okay, and what about, because I also feel like we're skipping, the Carmella James Ellsworth thing wasn't even that big of a deal anyway. It was a funny segment. It had one of those old school vibes. But
that's the first thing I said. It was the old school feel that I enjoyed. I didn't think it was a great segment. I think they could have did better with it. But I did love the old school. They're just out shopping kind of vibe.
Yeah, and let's not forget the other old school kind of vibe that I got when they showed Nikki. I know this wasn't later on the match because they were supposed to have, Natty was supposed to have a match. But they showed Nikki coming into the arena, and she was talking about, well, yeah, I know like John Cena's my boyfriend, and a lot of people say I get opportunities for him. Yeah, maybe on this truck, my face might be next to his, but maybe that's just a coincidence. And then Natty attacks her and throws her into the freaking truck backstage. Outside of the arena, which was fucking dope. And she's like, where's my face? And like, she's popping her shit. And then basically they move on and they're like, holy shit, what the hell's wrong with Natty? Because that happened, but I'm not sure if that happened around this point in the...
Yeah, there were a lot of promos and lack of matches. Yeah. I think there was only 3 matches, and they started off with a match, ended with a match, and then there was the over-the-top battle royal at some point. But so there was a lot of like promos in between that, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know where that fell, but I did enjoy that. They actually just did this, I think, 2 weeks ago on NXT with Asuka. Asuka was walking into the building, and Peyton Royce and Billie Kay attacked her, and
but by a limo or something.
I don't remember what the hell it was by, but they attacked her like on the way in, kind of parking lot kind of thing, and the head writer of SmackDown was a former NXT writer. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So like it makes sense. Like we just saw it on NXT like 2 weeks ago. Now we see it on SmackDown. It's kind of dope. Like I really love SmackDown, bro. Like
Yeah.
The promos, just the backstage segments, all of that shit. I like the style they've been doing these shits with.
That happened backstage. The Carmella thing happened backstage. Then we get into the 10-man battle royal, and after that, I'm not skipping it, but after that, like a few segments after that, Natty was supposed to have a match, and basically Nikki kind of got her revenge. But we'll get to that part. So we get the 10-man battle royal. Whoever wins gets a shot at in the Royal Rumble at the pay-per-view, and they earn their spot. Altogether, it was Rhino, Heath Slater, Von the Villains, Kurt Hawkins, Ascension,
pretty much tag teams.
Mojo Rawley. Did I say Heath Slater?
Yeah, I don't know, but he was.
I don't know, but pretty much it was them.
Breezango.
Mojo, yep, Fandango and Tyler Breeze. Those were the last two. Mojo Rawley ended up winning it all. Cool. He looked like he would be the one to win it. Maybe him or Kurt Hawkins, I was thinking, because they're the only ones that were kind of single wrestlers. But the one thing I got out of this whole match was the Von the Villains are really all buried, bro. They didn't do shit. Like, it was like, ring, 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 ding, 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 the bell rings. They run at somebody, the person pulls the rope down, and both of them eliminate themselves within, like, the first 2 seconds. Those guys are done with the company. I think Simon Gotch ruined it for them. Like, all his fights he's been in, they ain't going nowhere.
You know how I know they're buried? Because you keep saying their name wrong. The Vaudevillains.
The Vaudevillains, whatever. What I said, Vaudevillains?
I don't know what you were saying, but that just makes his point even more.
No, but
we don't even know their name.
Nah, I know their names, and I was actually intrigued with them. I like that little old school black and white wrestler type thing with their whole gimmick. But after their little feud with the New Day, it's been nothing for them. They're done. And
yeah,
man, I feel bad for Aiden English. Really,
I really like Aiden English. To be honest, I think he could find a place as a singles if they let him.
Yeah.
But as far as the match, when I first saw the competitors in the match, I thought, okay, Mojo Rawley's gonna win because he's the singles guy that just kind of announced himself as being a singles guy. He's turned into a singles competitor because he doesn't have Zack Ryder. And then the other thought I had was, but Heath Slater in the Rumble would probably get the biggest pop of these guys. So maybe Heath Slater. And then my last one was like, but I really wish they gave a chance to Tyler Breeze. But ultimately, I thought it was either going to be Heath and Mojo Rawley. And once Heath got eliminated, I was like, okay, Mojo Rawley. Mojo Rawley was left in there with Breezango, and who I just hate seeing them in those damn cop outfits. I thought they had so much potential early on. They were funny anytime they were in a segment together. Hopefully they got something for them after the Rumble. I don't know. But also I gotta mention, since we're on tag teams, you mentioned American Alpha earlier and them not defending the belts. I don't think it's that big of a deal. The Royal Rumble, it's hard to get on that card because the Royal Rumble takes up an hour on its own, and then the two top titles will take up another hour on its own. So it's hard to get all those titles on the Rumble matchup. So I don't mind that too much. But Mojo Rawley wins, takes out Breezango. We'll see. Good for him though.
Yeah. He ain't gonna make a difference though. But we can't dwell too much on that. Let's move on. Talk about this next segment, which was AJ Styles calling out John Cena and basically pulling up the artwork, the promo poster for Royal Rumble, which all the fans have been pointing this out for like the past 3 to 4 weeks. Like, where the hell is AJ Styles on the cover? And he's like all the way in the back, and you got Goldberg, Brock Lesnar, John Cena, Undertaker, and someone else in the front. And it's like, wow, your own champion, you're gonna freaking have him in the back. So Styles is mad about it. He calls Shane McMahon out about it. He's like, good way to treat your champ. And he was like, John Cena come out, and basically John comes out and cuts like the promo of his life. He doesn't even let AJ Styles talk. You making a little face. What was that face about, huh?
I don't know if that was the promo of his life.
I mean, not the promo of his life. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but it was a dope promo. He was going off, bro. And one of the main standouts of that whole promo was him saying, like, man, I could be like you. I could complain. I could call out my critics and talk about them, but I don't. I earn every day and I shut every mouth. And my time is now. Recognize John Cena, motherfucker.
I feel like you improvised that last part.
Maybe I did.
But did you miss AJ Styles speaking?
Why?
Because AJ Styles spoke.
In the beginning.
Okay, I was making sure.
That's what I was saying.
In the beginning
When he was calling him out.
Okay. Because you said he didn't even let AJ Styles speak, and I was like, what?
Once he
so
came
AJ
out,
spoke
basically.
first. Yeah. Yeah. AJ had his good little moments. I mean, I just feel like I anytime someone has to call out Cena, a heel, a heel has to call him out. It's always going to be the same thing. Like, you can't cut it in the indies, and you were gifted these opportunities, and it's the same thing we always hear. So of course at this point John Cena is trained to deal with this kind of criticism, exactly. So I mean, I'm not surprised. I knew he was gonna get the last word and shut AJ Styles down, and it was overall a good promo though. Like, not taking anything away. John Cena absolutely killed this promo. He's pretty fucking dope on the mic, man. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it shows. He's on the Today Show. He be hosting award shows. Like, he gets enough practice.
And he's one of the very few where he is not scripted.
Yeah.
Maybe they might give him, like, hey,
direction.
We kind of want you to mention or go in this direction for this, but go out there and do you. And I'm pretty sure he knows the direction each of his feuds have to go regardless. Yep. But he goes off. He's good with words. He's very intelligent. So that's a plus. And he's a veteran, man. He's used to being out there at this point. Like, he's been doing it for years. So I fucks with John Cena. I loved this whole promo by him. That promo and the promo he cut when he came back from his hiatus, some of John Cena's best work on the mic to date.
Recognize.
Definitely. But all in all, we're going to move on. And next up was Dolph Ziggler versus Kalisto. And this was another match that they did go at it, but it was like at the blink of an eye it finished.
I mean, that doesn't bother me.
I've seen this match twice, and both times I seen Dolph Ziggler pin Kalisto, but don't know what he did before he got him knocked out for the pin.
Oh, did you miss the spot in this one?
I missed the spot.
Oh, man. Kalisto went for like a springboard type shit, and Dolph Ziggler super kicked him out the air.
And just pinned him.
Pinned him.
It was quick. It was real quick. But
I dug the ending of it. And I mean, it shouldn't. Dolph Ziggler needs to be squashing chumps like Kalisto.
Yep.
So it didn't bother me.
Yeah, and so Ziggler goes to grab a chair, and JBL gets up and gets in his face. Ziggler's there.
Not in his face so much, but just kind of protesting. And in the meantime, while he's distracted, distracted, Apollo Crews comes up from behind and attacks Ziggler.
Which I like that.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I feel like that's the feud that, is supposed to come out of this.
Yeah.
Crews and Ziggler. And, ever since the start when Ziggler first attacked Kalisto the way he did, Crews was the one that stepped up most. Yeah. And then, so that's where this is obviously headed. And, Crews picks up the chair, swings it at Ziggler, misses, hits the corner of the ring, and Ziggler flees.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Oh, man. I don't know why, but when we blew past the Mickey James segment, We neglected to mention that Mickey begins to run from Becky.
We did.
Mickey begins to run from Becky, goes into the crowd, and when Becky
And
chases
Alexa
her, Alexa
Bliss
Bliss comes up,
out.
and they jump her. I thought that was
Yeah.
dope.
That was. Wow, how did we totally forget that shit?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna blame you, but whatever.
You're
Nobody's
Mr.
counting.
Smackdown, man. Come on.
I don't even.
It's
I don't even
on
remember
you.
how we ended. I don't even remember how we ended that segment when we spoke about it 20 or 30 minutes
No,
ago.
you know what it is? We started getting into where they're gonna start going forward
with the Mickey
feud.
James and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we totally forgot about that. But yeah, that was cool too. I definitely caught that part. And then to jump back to the Ziggler Kalisto Cruz thing going on. Ultimately, yeah, I see they're gonna go with Cruz and Ziggler, and I figured they would, but I didn't actually expect Cruz. Like for some reason, I forgot about Cruz, and then Cruz came. I was like, oh yeah, all right, that's the way they're going. Good, this is what I want to see anyway, and I was digging it. But basically now, moving on is Naomi versus Natty. And this is where basically Nikki gets her revenge on Natty, and we're waiting for Natty to come out, and Nikki attacks her backstage and beats the hell out of her. So basically, Naomi's left with no partner, but Naomi gets the opportunity to grab the mic and say, I want to earn, my respect in this division. I want to fight. It don't matter who I fight. Whoever has the balls come out, and, who comes out? Alexa Bliss.
The queen.
The queen of SmackDown. Yep. And Alexa Bliss pops her shit and like, you don't deserve a match with me, basically, she said. She was like, I see you're back out here. Like, I'm proud of that's good for you. You're getting an opportunity, but you think you're gonna fight me? You don't deserve it. And she just does her heel thing and pops her shit and kinda, shits on her.
She did the Braun Strowman.
Yeah. Definitely.
Which is sad that we gotta call it that. No, but both things I gotta mention. The Nikki and Natty feud, I dig it, man.
Yeah.
I just dig that. Every chance they get, it's the definition of on site. Like,
yo, and I
on
feel like
site.
I feel like Nikki was swinging pretty hard, like because she really does have a close relationship with Natty. So I felt like maybe she feels like she can kind of let loose a little bit and lay a little bit more in on those hits, and especially because they are so close in real life that Natty digs even more at her because she knows like personal things. And it's like, well, but we really are friends, so I know you're not really gonna be mad, so I'm gonna say the harshest shit I can. But in return, Nikki's laying in on these punches, I feel like. Because those hits, backstage, she looked like she was smacking her up for real, like with some hard hits.
Yeah, no, I've loved the build to this. I mean, maybe people hate on it. I don't know, what people are saying about it. I haven't been keeping up too much in like the last week or two. But I personally dig the feud. And then we get the Naomi Bliss moment. And that's interesting too, because like I said, SmackDown is very good about planting these little seeds.
Yep.
And I don't think this was for nothing. I don't think Bliss just came out, addressed Naomi, and it was for nothing. I think we could be seeing that Bliss versus Naomi could be Bliss's next feud. While Mickey is off doing whatever with Becky, and while Nikki and Natty are doing their thing, this could be Alexa's next feud. And, Naomi, who had been hurt, she's finally back. And I don't think anyone could question Naomi's talent, her athleticism. Like, she's legitimately dope to me. Yeah. So I like that maybe she's going to get a shot at the title.
And this will give her opportunity. And that just represents SmackDown and what they're doing with their divisions.
With the women's division.
Giving people opportunities, the land of opportunity. And Naomi mentioned that.
Like she said.
Like, I'm out here because this is the land of opportunity and I want to earn my opportunity. You know what I mean?
I love that SmackDown actually has 3 women's feuds going on right now.
Yeah.
All of their women are doing something, and Carmella has her thing. They're building Carmella's little character with this James Ellsworth thing, which is going to come into play at some point.
And he's her little puppet.
Yep. They're utilizing pretty much everyone they can. There's nobody wasted.
And this
So
is coming
I like where
from
this is going.
the show that when the draft happened, we were like, damn, Raw's fucking stacked.
Raw's got all the talent.
And we're like, well, SmackDown got some people. They gonna, at least I know I did. I was like, them getting John Cena was big. They have some stuff they could work with, and I think they'll be able to add through NXT to build. But right from the beginning, they just been hitting and working with all their people and doing a great job. But this whole segment ultimately leads to the one match that they added to the Royal Rumble from SmackDown, which is Nikki Bella, Naomi, and Becky Lynch versus Mickie James, Natty, and Alexa Bliss.
Which I don't mind, because you couldn't fit the Natty Nikki thing. That's gonna be a dope singles match when it happens. I mean, I would hope. The build up has been dope, so like I would hope that they can hold their own in that singles match when they finally do have it. Becky and Mickey, like that still needs more build up. Bliss, Naomi, that's gonna need more build up. I like this. They're putting them in a match. Giving all of the women a shot at each other a little bit. That'll help build it a little more. And then at Elimination Chamber, we could possibly see all of these matches as singles matches. And so I like the build. I don't mind them adding that. Normally, it would just seem like, oh, look, they're throwing all their women into a 6-man tag match. But this time it's actually relevant. They're all feuding. And so I like this.
Yeah, man. And moving on, we get the final match. Well, they went to commercial, and then when they come back, they set up the final match, and it's Dean Ambrose versus The Miz for the Intercontinental title. Ambrose is defending it, and this was our main event. We had the Lumberjacks, and basically, to me, all the Lumberjacks were the dudes in the 10-man Battle Royal, except Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews got added to them.
The Usos, too.
And the Usos. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. But, this was a good match, too. Like, they had good spots. Kind of awkward. Like, the Lumberjacks were beating up on Miz. Like, if he was not... I thought the whole point of being the Lumberjack was, like, you just throw the guy back in as he tries to run. Not that you jump the guy and trip him while he's in the ring and pull him out the ring and just, like, OD on him. But yeah, I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't mad at it. I'm like, hey, that is how it really should be. The Lumberjacks should be able to beat up the dude that they don't like. You know what I mean? But they even went at, some of them even went at Ambrose.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen in the past, that technically it's just supposed to be so that, the wrestlers can't get a break on the outside and run away from the action. Mm-hmm. So their job is to just put them in. But I've seen in the past where the heels will attack the face, and the faces will attack the heel. Mm-hmm. Especially in this scenario, it made sense because Miz, had his whole locker room dispute with them earlier.
Yep.
So it makes sense that they'd hate Miz. And then it was interesting that the heels, like Corbin, were attacking Ambrose.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a good match.
Solid match.
And after the match, everyone kind of got into a little pre-Rumble scrap.
Yeah.
Which Corbin... Well, was this before the match ended, or was
the match never got?
Oh, because it was no DQ or
it was a no contest. I think because I think maybe
I don't know what it was because I know Miz got hit. Yes, Ambrose got the
win. Was about to pin Miz, and Corbin came in and broke up the pin.
Okay.
And started beating him down.
Okay,
so the match got called off. But then all the Lumberjacks got in the ring, and it was just a mini brawl to
end it.
Yeah.
And Corbin cleaning house like that, that man's gonna have a good show.
Oh shit! No, actually, from the pin.
See, so I know it's something going on. I know we're not remembering something.
Yeah, we're not remembering. I guess I kind of was like, oh, the match is over when they all came in the ring, and I just considered it.
No. Okay, I remember.
But Baron Corbin cleaned house,
and then Ambrose
hit him with a DDT or something like that.
No, Corbin goes to attack Ambrose, and Ambrose pulls down the rope.
And throws him
Corbin
out the ring.
Flips out.
And Miz rolls up Ambrose, but Ambrose gets out and hits the Dirty D's and gets the pin.
And it's over, exactly. Where I believe where Corbin gets in to break the pin is when Ambrose hits his clothesline.
Mm.
And that's where they have the Corbin getting involved and everyone getting
But
involved.
see, that's what confused me. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, a lot of people will probably think like, "What the hell? Were you not watching it?" But them all coming in and brawling, I was like, "Oh, okay, this is how it ends." Like,
Yeah, no, I think
I
because it was a
personally don't
lumberjack,
even
it was
remember
no DQ.
seeing Corbin clean house and
That man cleaned
yeah,
the house like
and
a Hispanic woman.
yeah, and I don't remember Ambrose getting the win. I think maybe I turned it off. I don't know. I mean,
I gotta mention that recently I called the clothesline that Ambrose does the wacky line, which is what it used to be called, but now it's apparently called the lunatic lariat. So,
yeah, it is.
but I still hate it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I still am okay with it, but I second with you. It should be used for special moments and special matches. But yeah, that was SmackDown, man. I was feeling SmackDown. It wasn't nothing crazy. 2 matches, so nothing much really to judge it on. But I think Raw did better this week in basically not having a million matches that didn't mean nothing. Like, they had their 2 main matches, which was Rollins Zayn, Jericho Roman, and then they had fillers to continue their little feuds. I feel none of them were over the top.
Tell me something SmackDown doesn't always do. That's reg shit for SmackDown. SmackDown always does that.
You're funny. But guess what? I give Raw the edge with the way it ended with Undertaker. Come on, you can't top Lesnar, Goldberg, and Taker being in the ring. Like, that's.
Are we kidding me? Undertaker shouldn't even be on Raw at all. Are we forgetting?
I know.
Like, this is some bullshit, to be honest, that Raw is pulling right now. So come on, man.
But you know what? You just gotta go up to Vince McMahon, tell him cash me outside. How about that?
They could have just as easily had Undertaker close SmackDown, like. But of course, no.
Speaking of Undertaker, and now going back to Braun Strowman walking off saying, "I do what I want, when I want, how I want." Undertaker just said that 2 weeks ago, explaining why he's on Raw. Like, I do what I want, nobody controls me.
That was
that's crazy. Now that I think about it, right?
Yeah, it's funny. But I mean, for me, SmackDown. I don't know if Raw gets the edge because a SmackDown superstar closed out the show. How's that even fair?
SmackDown still wins.
I mean, SmackDown's still dope to me. Raw wasn't bad. The start was good. Just like most Raws, the start is good, the end is good, and then maybe they got a solid match somewhere in the middle, and then the rest is just kind of whatever.
Yeah.
And we never talked about the Charlotte and Bayley interviews. Those were lackluster for me.
The lackluster, I didn't even remember. But
so Raw just loses more points.
So all in all,
SmackDown gets the win. You know,
all in all, that was Raw and
SmackDown. I'm just gonna talk
guys.
over you and give SmackDown the win.
That was Raw SmackDown, guys. If you're out there listening, which I know you are, we appreciate you listening. Follow me at Faking Omoves. FAKINNOMOVES. That again is at FAKINNOMOVES. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter.
Make sure you catch me at Working Genius on Instagram, on Snapchat, at Working Genius, WORKINGENIUS. And make sure you follow the No Politics Podcast on Instagram at No Politics Podcast. Find us on SoundCloud, No Politics Podcast. Find us on YouTube, No Politics Podcast.
Yep.
We're trying to come at you every different way on every platform. iTunes, as always, coming soon.
Exactly. Peace.